Hey, good morning, everybody. I love to see you guys all here. We got Maker Extreme, Jeff Elmore, Biker Sasquatch, Who's the Islander, David Kessler, Brady Metter, Chris Cooley, Maker Extreme, which is Mark Odette, says it's getting colder in Colorado Springs. Yeah, it rained quite a bit yesterday here. It's supposed to rain again today. And then get nice, but it looks like the highs are going to be in like the 60s and 70s for the foreseeable future, which is rad. So excited about that. So excited. Gotta start my little thing. I don't know. Have any of you guys listened to the podcast on podcast mode, not just watching? Let me know if you guys ever have, or if you do, or if you think that's a good idea or not. Dude named Nebraska checking in. Roger heard what's happening. Oh man. It is yeah, the weather is turning perfect here in Montrose. It's going to be really good. Bike Vault, there he is. Tony Andrews, what's happening? Good to see you guys all here. Yeah, conditions in Montrose are going to be perfect. There's my mom. Hey, Mama, I love you. There's Ruth. That's Ruth's hand that just came in. She's grabbing a child's iPad. Jim Rupp. Rain here on the West Coast. Back to riding again. Right on. Right on. Good to hear that. I was just talking about your beautiful island over the weekend. I was in Montana with Dad fishing, and we were talking about, I don't know, whatever. And I, for some reason, got onto Vancouver Island, and I think it's awesome up there. So, Mike Webster, what's happening? Yeah, everybody say hi to my mom, Suzanne Spradling. And yeah, it was great. I remember Who's the Islander. The thing I remember most about your island is the town of Tofino and the crazy storm that happened, and then B, watching in that crazy storm, watching a helicopter lift up out of the forest with the biggest log I've ever seen underneath it, and being blown around by the wind and still flying, and just being like, it was awesome. Jimmy Neihart, what's happening, my brother? That's awesome. Biker Sasquatch, the fishing trip was amazing. It's just me, my dad, and my brother, and we had a blast. Caught a ton of fish, had a bunch of fun. It was really good. Jimmy Neihart, yeah, you got to be careful. My mom's there. Although my mom was a middle school and high school science teacher, so she's probably heard everything you could ever imagine. Roger heard, yeah, Gospel of Two Reels. I love that. It was really, really good. The fishing trip was amazing. So yeah, it was awesome. Super fun. Catching big fish, and yeah, we had a blast, and Montana's great. All right, guys, welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, number 151, I believe is where we are. And thank you for joining, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are fast, and your comments are absolutely ridiculous. It is awesome to be here. So excited to be here with you guys. I love this show. I hope you guys like it. Seems like you do. You always show up. Update for all on Motorcycle Release Project. Thank you, Morgan and gang. 3,200 was given to them by the other week. Yes. Maker Extreme. Mark, thank you so much for the opportunity to help out with that. I saw that video. Guys, if you haven't checked that out over on Meeker's channel, he gave that money that you guys helped raise. And by help, I mean supporting this channel to make me help do it anyway. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. Front Range Dad, my bike. I think that's the thing. Front Range Dad says, my bike is fast, but I'm slow. I think that's pretty much the deal for all of us. The bikes that we own are much faster than we are. That's the beauty of motorcycles. They're all fast, right? TJ Cowan, what's happening, man? The battle is going down. So, guys, if you're watching this, you see TJ commenting there. TJ and I are in a battle for the win for the 40A class in Weeby Hair Scrambles, and it's coming down to the last race, and I'm so excited to battle it out. It's going to be awesome. So, TJ, I can't wait to see you down there. We're gonna have a ton of fun. So, guys, I got a ton of questions on the line. Again, if you haven't followed us on Facebook or Instagram or even the TikToks. You should, because we have, hang on. We post a thing where you can give questions the night before, and then I'll make sure I get to them. So I have a bunch, and I'm excited. Oh no, TJ, you got knocked out. That sucks so bad, and I am bummed out about that. Dude, I'm super bummed out about that. I hope that you feel better and get to ride. I really do, because I don't want to win this thing. And I'm not saying I'm going to win, because I mean, I can crash and have a bad day, but like, it will suck if I can't race you. Dang it. I really hope you feel better. Dave Kessler, when I was young, I was fast. When I get old, I'll be slow. Right now, I'm half fast. That's awesome. Let's see. Yeah, horseshoe was so flowy. That's awesome. Horseshoe. If you guys have never ridden Horseshoe Trail over in the Sargent's/Taylor Park area, you should. All right. So we got to start with Jimmy Nyhart's question, because it's probably my favorite question. Again, we post these things the day before. You guys can comment, and we'll make sure we get to them. As this show grows larger and larger, I'm sure that we will have a hard time getting to everybody's questions on here. But please ask questions. Roger Hurd, by the way, says, TJ, let your head heal. Trust me on this. Roger is correct, TJ. So, like, while I want to race you, I also want you to be healthy. And Roger has a long history of not letting his head heal, and sadly is suffering from early onset Parkinson's right now, most likely due to crashing back in the day and hitting his head and getting right back up and racing the next week and all that stuff. So that is a good message, people. If you hurt your head, please give it time to heal. So Jimmy Nahart. So while I rode my 350, I had songs running through my head like Thug Life or Rough Riders Anthem, etc. Now I got this 250 fat pipe bike. I can't get It's Raining Men out of my head. Should I add 2 more strokes or just go with it? Seriously, Jimmy Nyhart, I love you so much. I love you so much. That is the best question ever. I say go with it. And I'm surprised that that's what you're hearing. Because, when I got off of 4 strokes onto 2 strokes, it was just nothing but like punk rock and Metallica, and then women charging after me who couldn't, keep themselves off of me. So I don't know what's happening there, Jimmy, but yeah. Oh, Nyhart, I love you, dude. I got some good ones. Okay, Logan, Goxa, Goczza, Logan, if you're here, hello. I hope you're here. If you're not, you're watching later. That's awesome. Nyhart says it must be the TPI. I think it absolutely is the TPI. But Logan says, if you could talk about tools/parts you always carry on rides and parts you carry, racing tools, parts. Anyway, that is awesome. That's a great question. And I would love for other people to chime in on things. Real quick, Brady Metter, speaking of horseshoes, someone said it was top 5 toughest in Colorado. The other 4. Brady, I will tell you right now, Snow Slide over in the Wet Mountains is definitely up in the top 5. And then the problem is they say that about the toughest trails and all that stuff. The problem is they don't really, I don't know. How do you rate them? But because I would argue that there's some rock crawler stuff in the Dry Creek area that's harder than it would be harder to actually get your bike up by yourself than you can't put it's like huge ledges. So anyway, good question. So parts, tools, things like that. Because I had a guy come in yesterday and ask that question, and we were talking about it, and he didn't want to carry a ton of stuff. So first of all, I don't know if you guys know what I'm going to say, but what I'm going to say is you can eject all the tire stuff out of your pack and race kit if you just run Mousses. So you can take tire irons, air, tubes, patch kits, all that stuff, throw that away. If you're running Mousses, you don't need to carry that. I'm going to miss some things because I don't have my pack here to pull it apart. But here's what I like to have. Zip ties, safety wire, electrical tape, rescue tape, quick steel, first aid, 8, 10, and 12, and 13 sockets that go on some sort of thing, some sort of T-handle or something like that. Biker Sasquatch, levers and pedals, absolutely. I actually don't carry levers on my bike. I run the Bulletproof Designs breakaway levers, and while I did actually bend one down a little bit, it was a pretty good crash and right on the lever, and it still didn't break. Brady Metter. That Brady says, I ride a 4-stroke. No need for extra parts and tools. They don't break. Ha, that's funny. Anyway, I love you so much, Brady. Bike Vault comes in with chain link. So Master Link, absolutely top, 5 things to have in there, because I've seen chains come apart plenty of times. I like to have an 8 and a 10 and a 12 wrench. And actually, I've replaced that. They're still in there, but I think I'm going to replace that with the cool Nipex pliers wrench, the little bitty one. I don't have the tiniest one because they don't exist yet, but like anyway, little Nipex guy it kind of replaces all those wrenches, because you can really get a hold of things with that thing. So that's awesome. I have a set of needle nose vice grips, because those things come in incredibly handy when you shear shifter off or something like that. You can clamp it on there and do all kinds of and levers and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Front Range Dad, I'm running tubeless and have loved it, but after high pressure tube failure, I'm thinking about swapping to Mousses. There we go. Yes, Bigger Extreme. He can talk about tubeless here when he makes comments like that. Front Range Dad, you are on my page. That's the problem, is that happens. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And with Moose's, 0 failure. Hey, Mike Coles, what's happening? Yeah, I definitely carry zip ties. Some guys carry the big, super heavy zip ties to like hold the tire on if it goes flat. But again, those go out the window if you have your if you have Mousses, so you don't need that. Oh yeah, so No Pro Heroes, I carry a tube in case I ever need to siphon some fuel off of someone. That's a good idea. Like, so a piece of fuel hose would be a good idea. I don't do that. But the other thing, so I like to make sure if it's going to be a long ride, and it's not, not every ride is, going to be over 100 miles, but if it's going to be a long ride and there's a chance anybody run out of gas, I like to make sure I have some sort of bottle to move gas from one bike to another, because it sucks to try to like get one bike above a bike anyway. So, or have a tube long enough. So anyway, Roger Heard, I don't get outside of camp. No need for tools. That's awesome. Chris Cooley, any Mousses have an 8 PSI-ish feel. All Mousses will have an 8 PSI-ish feel eventually when they wear out, but the soft ones from Nitro Mousse do right off the bat. Let's see. Mike Kleiner, what's happening, man? And Front Range Dad, yeah, don't go down the oil thing. Brady Metter, I found a super rad tool set off Amazon that is all in a little pack, all sockets, Allen screwdrivers, all little case. It's light and fits in your backpack. Perfect. Ooh, cool. Brady, if while you're here and you can, I don't know if you're on your phone or what, if you can put the link to that, that'd be cool. Or actually, what would be better is wait till this is over and put the link in the main comments of this thing, not in the live chat. That would be awesome. There we go, Kevin Laughlin. I am with you on that. The soft nitro should be called a flat tire feel. That's how I personally feel. I wasn't going to go there, but I don't like soft mousses. Chris, I know you say you like the 8, super soft feel. I don't like that. I like a stiffer feel. The thing is, a harder mousse that has the 10 to 12 PSI. Anyway, let me just say this. I don't like that. I don't like it feels like this PSI and feels like that. Because here's the thing, they don't feel like that. In my opinion, they feel a lot better than that, because even though like maybe pushing on it, if you have a durometer thing to push on it or whatever, some sort of gauge, it might feel like 8 PSI or 10 PSI or whatever PSI. but that's a misnomer because since it's a foam tube, it doesn't bounce like air. It doesn't have pneumatic deflection. I like that word or the phrase. And so even though it may be stiffer to push on, and in my opinion, I like this part, stiffer in a turn, it doesn't feel like it's bouncy like 15 psi because the foam sucks it up and it's a little more dead. So I just I hate, honestly, I've been thinking about that recently. I hate that talk because it just isn't representative of how it feels. You just got to try it. So so Mike has a good thing. Let me jump up here. Biker Sasquatch, probably a dumb question, but do you have a video showing how to mount and unmount mooses? Yes, I've got actually a few videos about that, Biker. If you just look up in here, you put in the search bar, Highland Cycles, all one word, and then mooses, you'll find it. How come everybody likes 2 strokes instead of 4 strokes, Jason? Well, not everybody. Brady Better's on here, and he definitely doesn't like 2 strokes. But Jason, one of the big reasons, so I can only speak for me. For me, the reason I like 2 strokes is it's more representative of my life. And sorry, that's a joke. But then, no, they're simple, easy to maintain. They're lightweight, and I think they're more fun to ride. So, Brady, I run -2 psi in my 3-stroke because I muled it. I love you so much, Brady. That is brilliant. So Mike Cole says, I only run super soft mooses on the East Coast. Out west, I would put a stiffer insert. There you go. Yeah, back east where it's muddy and greasy all the time, lower PSI or a softer, bigger footprint is more important. Let's see. Soft moose for slower riding, technical riding. I just thought I had flat soft one. And then Roger Hurd comes in with a very appropriate thing. It depends on the carcass of the tire. 100% it depends on the carcass of the tire. Because, like, yeah, anyway, I don't know how we devolved into mooses. Well, I know how we did, but I'm going to get back off of it and back to Logan's question of tools. Sorry, Logan. And Husa, I agree on the smart ones like a 2-stroke. Front range, I'm currently running CSI, my 2 V33s. I like to ride the rocks, so I'll be doing the soft nitro moose when the time comes. Front range, I would highly recommend putting the stiffer in the front and the soft in the back if you're going to do that. The soft in the front very quickly feels like a flat tire up front, and then you feel like you're rolling all over the place. So just, I highly recommend doing, I don't know I don't know anybody that likes the soft front one because they just get soft, like super soft really fast. Dave Kessler says Brady secretly has 2-stroke envy. He's just acting out. I love it so much. Jimmy Nyhart, riding rocks with the 2T is the shiz. After a rocky enduro with my 350, I felt like I wrestled a lambda moose. That's Jimmy, you are the best. Hang on, I got to get back to the questions. Bruce Kennedy, good to see you. You're a little bit late, man. Mike Klinger, suspension. What new WP forks are shorter than previous models? I heard Explorer forks are shorter than, I don't know if they're shorter than like the old closed or old open chamber, but they're definitely shorter than the AERs by enough that like, it makes a difference on the kickstand on my bike. Like my 125 is an XC, and I put spring forks on that, like Explorer forks, and they tilted it forward enough that you can tell the difference. So anyway, Logan, I hope we got to all the tools and parts that we carry. What's up from Gunnison? Hello, Dirt. So yeah, and then water, obviously, and then a pair of pliers and a knife and a flat blade screwdriver is always nice for not only adjusting suspension, but like tightening clamps on carburetors or even throttle bodies if you have one of those, just in case. Mike Klinger, yes, all Explorer models are shorter than AERs. Again, maybe Brady can jump in on whether they're shorter than the old twin chambers and old open chambers. I don't know about that, but they're definitely shorter than the AERs. Like I said, it's noticeable. So anyway, Logan, I hope that helps. Yeah, we kind of got sidetracked there. So sorry, dude. Oh, Brady Metter. Here we go. How much more power can you get out of a 300 TPI with an RK Tech head and a tuner? I would say, Brady, and this is no joke. I can't speak for like brake horsepower on a dyno because I don't know what the peak horsepower is. The torque, in my opinion, and I haven't put it on a dyno. I can't say whatever. And the opinion of many people who I've helped get their bike set up, it feels like 25 to 40% more. I mean, that's probably not true. 25 is probably true. It's a giant jump with that head. It's really, really impressive. The torque is amazing with that head. And then the tuner just helps it be more, just get the right amount of fuel to it and then anyway, whatever. The tuner, you got to do it. Well, you don't have to do them both. I like doing them both. Neidhart here just did the head and it made a huge difference, right, Jimmy? I think we've discussed this. But then I think you get even more. Brady, I honestly think that the bottom end of my 300 is equivalent to 450 torque. But it's smoother. It's not so snatchy like a 450. Chris Cooley, 25 plus 25% improvement. What kind of exhaust brand do you recommend? Jeff Cheeseballs, if you're talking about two strokes right now, Jeff, I say any kind you can find because FMF Pro Circuit are both out of everything, like everything. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, it sucks. But so let's say everything's available. For power, Pro Circuit, I've never had a bike work as good as I have with Pro Circuit exhaust on it as far as power. For durability, then FMF Gnarly, or actually the SRT, just cheapy ones are really durable. And for me, I just go with the cheapest one I can find because I'm going to bend it. So, yeah, Barnado coffee. Here we go. Yeah. So, Brady, back to the quick RK plug. I really do. Like I say it to people all the time. Kim Jackson, what's happening? I say it to people all the time that my 300 now with the RK, I mean, mine's carbureted, but with the RK head and everything it's 450 power, but without the weight and BS of a 450. Yeah, so Dave Kessler, I have noticed that the RK Tech head requires noticeably more fuel to get the most torque and horsepower. Just bolting the head is noticeable after a rejet. Yeah, even more noticeable. Yeah, Dave is right. Like the RK head just on makes a difference, but then giving it the gas it needs is what really, it's nuts. Brady, you should come out and borrow Andrew Neal's bike because you did the suspension on it and you'd love to feel it, and he's got it set up and that thing absolutely rips. Yeah, Jimmy Neihart talks about how he doesn't have the tuner, and the RK Kelsey went nuts on the way over his head on the explanation of the bang detonation, which is, anyway, if on that thing, it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything, but you definitely get a lot more power. All right. So, Casey York. Casey, you on here? I think I thought anyway. What's your thoughts on bar risers? Being a taller guy while standing, it feels like I'm hunched over. I would like to be more comfortable while standing, but don't want to change the way the bike feels. He's got a 22 XC300. I'm not a big fan of bar risers, honestly. I don't know how tall you are, Casey. If you're more than like 6'1", then maybe we should talk about it. But for instance, Cody Webb does not run bar risers, and I think he's 6'1" or 6'2". He's a tall, lanky dude. Because when you change that geometry. It changes the way the bike handles. And I think Casey, there he is. He's 6'3". So it changes the way the bike handles. Casey, I'm not a big fan. It also adds like leverage. So like it moves those bars up. So when you fall over, there's more leverage to bend or twist something and mess things up. So if you can, I like to not do that. And I know that when you're standing, but I try to tell people, and I've been told myself, because I had, I used to run, I'm not tall at 5'10", but I used to run these super tall bars because when I stood up, I wanted to feel comfortable, right? And I got told by people who are way better riders than me that I needed to crouch down and, get into an attack position and I'll be fine. And so I am a fan of like putting taller bars on there to a point and get up there and get just a little more comfortable. Because I run even just a little bit taller bar, but I think with a Mako 360, which adds just a fuzz of height, and Woods High or CR High or something like that bar, you should be good. There you go. Brady, just run Renthal 971 bars. Yeah, and Brady's 6'4". So Casey, I think maybe adjusting the way you ride is a better idea. Front Range Dad says, I'm a taller dude, 6'2 plus, tried bar rides and didn't like them. Bike felt weird and could never get into the attack position. Fastway pegs that drop a little bit and a taller bar was a magic combo. There we go. Also, a taller seat, Casey. A lot, it goes from sitting to standing easier because it is kind of cramped. I mean, I'm not tall, but I know guys that are, like Brady and things like that. So, Kevin O'Laughlin, some of the guys around here run them like ape hangers. I don't see how they ride with them in the trees. So I would say steer away from them and try to adjust your body position and figure those things out. So last question on here, because I got to shut her down right at 8 because my wife has an online meeting. So there you go. No tall seat, no low pegs, just rip it. I'm with Brady. That's how I feel, but some guys like to do that stuff. So suppose your front wheel, this is a long one, guys. So this is from Brian Kimsey. Suppose your front wheel is washing out in tractionless Colorado silt. How do you decide if you have a suspension issue, a sag issue, or a body position issue? Or maybe you blame the tires. Basically, where do you start troubleshooting? I guess what I do is start with the stock suspension settings and a decent tire, and then try moving my body position forward and back a little to see if moving to the rear to help. Based on that, increases the sag. Okay, but that's hard to do in race situations. So, right on, Casey. I'm glad you're going to go ride. Let's see. Maker Stream, my bro had ATV high bend bars to 2-inch rocks rise on an XR250R. That's ridiculous. This mountain life front range is every bit of 5'10". That's hilarious. Sorry. No long brake pedal center stock. Just I wear a 14-inch shoe. Yeah, there you go. There's a few new bikes here. I was in the Husky dealer yesterday. They only had 250 INL 300. Think about putting a deposit down on a Sherco. Husa, I'm with you on that. I think Shercos are rad. I'm being converted. So on Brian's question, real fast, since he asked it online, it's a tough one. So first of all, I like to put your suspension in its whatever stock, whatever, in the middle, whatever your manufacturer. I don't know what he rides. I'm guessing it's maybe a KTM, but whatever. Put it in a neutral clicker setting. Find a turn that you're talking about, the silty turn, and you're going to hit the thing over and over and over again, right? Because if you go to the next turn or the next thing, it's different. And so you really can't get a good idea of what's happening. So to set up your testing and figure this thing out, you got to pick one spot, or maybe, a right and a left or something like that. Anyway, so do that. Put your stuff in there. Get a good set of tires. Like put an M59 on the front. I guarantee you that's the best tire you're going to find, especially in Colorado. and it's an amazing tire, and you can trust that it's going to do the same thing every turn, no matter what. So, and then first of all, work on your body position, because we all know we should be up front as we go into a turn and into the turn, and then be rocking back as we accelerate to put pressure on the back tire. So work on your body position, work on, really kind of over accentuate it, and then see if it's still doing it. Then I like a lot of times I feel like bikes suspension, the rebound, especially if you're a big dude, Brian, and you weight the front, and if you're a big guy and you put heavy springs in the bike, but you haven't had it revalved, now your springs are fighting your rebound valving really bad, and so it can be overpowering that valving. And so I've had really good luck with that push by turning in the rebound clickers a couple, and slowing that down, so it keeps the bike loaded on the front a little bit longer and helps keep traction on it. So it's hold on, sorry. And then after that, first of all, I'd set your sag no matter what. I sit all the time in the middle. There we go. Says Brady. But yeah, so as you load that thing, I don't know, you gotta really kind of work at one thing at a time and fiddle with it, and then go move on. And I know that you said it's hard in race situations, but what I would say is go pick a day that you're just gonna figure this thing out, right? And then just work one thing at a time and figure it out. No Pro Heroes. Am I riding Saturday? No, I'm not. I'm not riding this weekend because it is my 22nd anniversary. Woohoo! This weekend. So I'll be hanging out with my wife and stuff, and then we're racing next weekend. So Kevin O'Laughlin, find Meg's Brap. I was just talking to Meg's last night about her bike, which is pretty cool. We're trying to get her back out here to go for a ride and hang out. Oh yeah, by the way, Roger, that's awesome that she got the gas. That's super cool. She got that thing finally showed up. If the front pushes over a berm, rebound needs closed up. There you go. If the bike knifes inside trying to spit you off, open the rebound on the forks. Yeah, Bruce. Also, like I said, I mean, if you've got a horrible tire with like way too much tire pressure, it's fired up, then it'll push and slide all over the place too. So, but yeah, just make sure, like I said, get your sag set, get everything, and get it set to like what you should, right? And then you can fiddle with that later. But I have found that if you set the bike up the way the manufacturer asks you to, or you talk to your suspension tuner, if you've got a suspension tuner, Brian, I use Brady, and we're actually, new news. I just talked to Travis Flateau of TBT Racing yesterday, and we are going to hopefully be moving forward finally with our TBT franchise in Montrose very, very soon. We're actually having a Zoom FaceTime walk around the shop, make sure we got everything. I'm hopefully going to be driving out there to pick up parts and things like that here soon, and maybe take my dirt bike and ride too in Southern California. So anyway, that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, Brian, and then he talks about what he would do, and Brian, what you're saying is good, 100%, and just fiddle with it, and yeah. So there you go. I hope that helps. I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, but I hope that helps. It's 10 where you are, Jeff Cheeseballs. Where are you? Where? That's 10 o'clock. There you go. 8 o'clock. Thank you. Hello, Dirt. Thank you. I got a boogie. Yeah, I got a hard stop here, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Gospel of Two Wheels. You guys are awesome. Share this with your friends. Let's blow this channel up. It's really growing. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything about you. Punk Rock Club, thank you for sticking around to the end. I love you so much. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. And I desperately hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and ride your dirt bikes.